Hello, welcome to the Capitol Theatre and Capitol Connects. Join us as we connect artists, business, and our community.
Hello, I'm Susan Ferley, Artistic Director here at the Capitol Theatre in Port Hope. With March 8th being International Women's Day, we thought we would interview a series of women in the arts. I'm chatting today with Amanda Lundgren, who was in our production of Guys and Dolls in 2019 here at the Capitol. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Susan. Hi, everyone.
It's great to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you too.
So, as part of this interview, do you want to talk about your journey? What inspired you, how you got involved in theater, musical theater, and the arts?
I danced my whole life. My parents immigrated here from Guyana just before having me. And so my mom's best friend talked her into putting me into dance. And once they realized how much I loved it, how much I took to it, they kept me in it. I couldn't think of doing anything else. So that was great in my youth. By graduating high school, one of my teachers had suggested cruise ships. So that was my first kind of performance experience, on a cruise ship, sailing the seven seas, performing many styles. Cruise ships then adapted to having dancers sing and dance. Mm-hmm. So I jumped on board to that. So that's where I got my singing bug. My husband and I came to land in 2016, and that's when I kind of dived a little bit more into the acting aspect of things. And so the progression into musical theater has just kind of crept its way into my being. And now I just can't imagine not doing it. It's so natural, and it feels so real, and it feels so honest, and I can't shake it. So
we celebrate that.
Absolutely. It's the best feeling, and I love it, and I can't wait for it to be back. I can't wait.
Yeah. Can you identify women who inspired you on your journey?
Yeah, what really did, and it's even relevant more so to me now than ever, but any woman in the arts with a family. The arts is challenging enough. It has its, it's things to work through, and I'm sure being a mom has a lot to work through. And so whenever I see any female or male, any person in the arts that have children, I'm in awe, because you're taking both aspects of this life and you're making it work. And it's something that I've always wanted to have one day, and fingers crossed I will. But I think it's beautiful. I've sat next to moms breastfeeding while putting on their makeup, and they go on stage and they kill it. And it is so awe-inspiring to me to see, and they're beautiful people, and with such grace and humility and honor, and showing such a beautiful example to their children. So that's any mother, father, parent I see being able to mold the two together, I'm obsessed with. I can't get enough of it.
That's great. Yeah, because there are challenges, right?
Oh,
and
yes.
To see those people who can meet that and thrive, survive, and flourish,
Absolutely. Above and beyond in every way, and be so kind. Yeah. They're the kindest people to everyone, and so helpful, and so willing to go above and beyond, especially with me being myself personally being newer to a lot of things. When I do it, they're always the first ones to just welcome you in and show you the way. And I strive to be that to somebody one day. I think it's beautiful.
Great. When you were starting out, did you receive any advice that has continued to serve you?
Adaptability, 100% adaptability. We are in an industry that is very hard, and you need to be open and ready and willing. And you may think it's this way, but you can get to anything any which way. So adaptability has been the one thing that I was taught, that I always try to keep in the forefront of my mind, to be open to change.
Mm-hmm. Great. And if you were to offer advice?
Yes. It would be Adaptability, I have to pass that on. Be open, be respectful. I find sometimes I've been in environments over the years where sometimes people feel they're above or better than others. And I just don't believe in that. I feel like you need everybody to work together to create the product that you're producing. And so it's the most important thing to me. It doesn't matter who it is, be kind, smile, go from a place of love, and be respectful. You don't know what people are going through. And even if it's just wonderful. So be kind, smile, be respectful, and be kind to the people in your environment.
Right.
Really necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lovely to hear that, because it's so much about coming together as artists.
Yes.
Theater is about so many art forms coming together, do you know?
Yeah.
So lovely. I love this question. Was there an aha moment? I'm sure there've been a series of them, but can you recall one where you literally went, this is where I belong. This is right?
Every time I step on a stage, I have that moment, whether it's the first time in costume, whether it's just the first time the cast gets to see the stage with set or no set. Like that moment I step on a stage, because you always have that nervousness a little bit. You're like, do I remember my lines? Do I remember the choreography? Where am I standing? Oh my gosh, left or right. So you always have that buildup. But the minute I get to step on that stage, it goes, and it feels right. And I know that it will find its way for me mentally, physically, emotionally. So every moment I step on a stage is an aha moment for me. I just can't. Oh, it's so good.
It's great. Now, I remember after you performed in Guys and Dolls, some things started to open up for you. Do you want to talk about that? I found it so exciting. So
yeah, I ended up going back to Neptune Theater, and I did Cinderella there. We did that over the winter, and we remounted in the summer, and I got to step in as Cinderella, and it was awesome. It was incredible. It was my first time kind of stepping into a lead role as a swing. Sometimes stepping into that role with certain circumstances, you're kind of like, but the cast was so incredibly supportive. I loved that. It was amazing. And while that was happening, I was fortunate enough to audition and book the Stratford Festival that was supposed to be the 2021 season, 2020 season. And I was casted in Chicago, and Here's What It Takes. And it was starting off to be a really, really beautiful experience. Chicago was, I can't even, but it was a great, great, great time. So those are kind of the things that started to branch out after Port Hope. And I miss you guys out there. Like, I can't wait to come back one day. But you got to progress and move on, and yeah.
And adapt.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. As we strive to figure out how we go forward, whether it's as an artist or as a theater.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So COVID has certainly presented some challenges, but have there been positives? Have there been things that you go, no, this is what's meant to be for this reason?
Absolutely. And it comes back to that adaptability. That is one of the biggest lessons that I was taught, because COVID threw everybody a punch. There's not one person in this world, I think, that hasn't been affected in some way, shape, or form. I know that. But that made me go, okay, adaptability. How can we make this work? And trying to find the positives, and the positives that did come through this whole experience this past 2020 year is I bought my first home. The opportunity presented itself right at the very beginning, and you have your mind saying, no, 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 no. But then your mind is going, adapt, be open. How can we make this work? So buying my first home was scary, but positive. We got our first puppy, scary, but positive. Spending time with my husband. We're both artists. You're contracted a lot, so you have a lot of time, catching 2 or 3 weeks or a few moments here and there. So that's the biggest one for me, is being able to spend quality time with my husband.
Mhm.
And I kind of dove a bit into film and TV, and that's been another positive. Again, I'm open to hearing the word no. That's very huge, but I'm willing to kind of just take wherever the natural path is leading, and I'm open to where it goes. I was very musical theater, at the moment, and COVID happened, and it was like, okay, what opportunities are there for you? How can you grow during this time? How can you learn during this time? And I dabbled a bit into film and TV. So it was kind of like, okay, let's see what happens now, and just naturally see what happens, not put any pressure on myself, just kind of audition and see what happens. And through that, I've fortunately been blessed with some great opportunities. So yeah.
It's so great.
It
So
is.
heartening to hear.
Thank
you
you.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard as well, because it's not all been good moments that I've had. I'm sure we've all been there. We've had very sad moments, very down moments. And the major thing for me that I've learned throughout this is I let myself feel them. If I feel like crying one day, I'll cry one day. If I'm enraged one day, I'll be like, nobody talk to me. I'm allowing myself to have those feelings and release them rather than bottle them up. Because for me personally, that just doesn't work.
Right.
So I'm just allowing myself to feel the feels, be where I am in that moment, so I can move past it and start the next day kind of fresh and see where that leads. So,
Right.
yeah.
So great.
The
Great.
2020 emotional roller coaster.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I was so ready for a new year, right? and I celebrated, and it's 2020 is past. We're in 2021. And then there was news of things that sort of got me down for a bit. And like you just sort of take it on and you go, and now I'm moving on. And find the light, find the positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've often been a glass half full kind of person. And that's just something I cling on to and hold to dearly, because I feel like that has really helped me quite a bit, is rather than looking at something and immediately going to the negative, I look at something and I go, where's the positive in this? What's the good, or what can I learn from? Maybe it's not positive and still negative, but how can I learn from this? How can I make that change in a good way or a bad way, or go, I don't want to do that, but I do want to do this. And so if I could pass that on as well to anybody, it would be that, is just try to look at the glass half full before half empty, because it really is a different perspective to start with.
Yeah. Amanda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Susan.
For taking the time to chat and share your journey, and claiming that positive, what we hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again in person.
Me too. I want to squeeze you.